Poboy Special here, and this video I've been wanting to do for a while. And what is it? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's time to clean the Ruger 1022. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. Alright, first thing we need to do obviously is to make sure that it's safe and it's not loaded. So I'm going to remove the magazine. Wasn't anything in the magazine anyways, but see the magazines. And we will make sure nothing, my finger in here, nothing in the chamber. Chamber is clear. So we are ready to disassemble. Alright, first thing you're going to do, this obviously has a sporter stock on it. If you have a wooden stock, you'll have one more process, and that is you'll have a metal band somewhere around here on the metal stock that you'll have to take the screw out and take that band off. This one does not have it. So all you do is remove this screw right here. So that's what we'll do first. We will alright, let me take this stock. Oh, haven't done this in a while. There we go. Now it's easier to work with. And I will take this flathead screwdriver, obviously, is what I'm using, and not a whole lot of pressure to it. And you just take this screw completely out. And yes, I know that I'm blocking your view, but do you really want to see you really taking a screw out like that? Alright, so I'm going to take this screw out and set over there in the magnetic tray. Now, from here, all of this should just lift out like so. And I'm going to set the stock out here to the side, out of my way. Now from here, it gets a little tricky. And when I say a little tricky, you have to be very careful. I don't know why, but on some Rugers, these pins that we're going to take out are very, very, very loose. And I will show you there's 3 of them that we're going to deal with. Let me get my punches out here. And the reason I'm holding it straight up is because if you let it down on its side, those pins are going to sometimes come right out without you even touching them. And I'm going to show you the important ones, and one you have to really look out for. Alright. Choose my punch here. Alright, I'm going to set it down on the side like this, where the charging handle is. The 3 pins that we're going to be concerned with are one here, one here, one here. Now there's 2 that I'm going to show you that we're not going to do anything with, but I just want to show them to you so that there's also one here and there's one here. Make sure that those do not come out while we're disassembling all this. We're not going to mess with that one or that one. I just want to show them where they are and make sure that they're in place. Alright, so I'm going to do this one, this one, and this one in no particular order. So there's 1, there's 2. Alright, let me get the smaller punch here. Oh, being a little contrary on me. There we go. Alright, there's the second one. Alright, now after those 2, this assembly here will just lift straight out. Where you have the hammer and everything, that just lifted straight out. And I'm just going to set it to the side here. All we have left is this one remaining. and I just punched it out. There it is. I'm going to take all 3 of these and put them in my magnetic tray so I don't lose them. You heard that? Now, here, this can be the tricky part. Removing this. When you do it, you're going to have to pull the charging handle back, and what that does is it compresses the spring, and that spring is right here. I'm trying to point to it if you can see that. Let me scoot this up just a little bit. It's in here, right here. Alright, so you compress the spring, and once you compress it, then we're going to try and lift this whole assembly up and out. So, compress the spring, and you see it slides that back, and you just kind of, and it does take a certain touch. There it is. And that lifts straight up and out. And you see I've got the spring still compressed. It will come out the side right here. I'm going to twist it so you can see that, and that comes straight out. There you go. And that is it. Now you can take the barrel off if you wish, and in order to take the barrel off, you will need to loosen and remove these 2 screws here and here. Here and here. Once those are removed, that's what holds the barrel on. Slide it right on out. Alright, let's put the large pin in first. Let's do it from this end. Well, I'm going to have to mess with this one just a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to go in from this end that we were starting. And you're going to have to make sure that it's just right. And I'm going to get my large punch here. And I'm taking just the end of it and see if I can get it started. Alright. And put that punch in, or put that pin in with the punch. Alright, to reassemble all of this, you're going to have to pay close attention to some things here that I'm going to try and point out. There is a metal piece right here that I'm pointing to. Right here. There's a little indentation right here at the end, and that little indentation, oops, excuse me, is where the end of this spring assembly is going to go. So this end, see how it's pointed right here, is going to go exactly into this right here. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to slide it into the side right here and put that point right there. Alright, so now the point of that spring meets that little indentation, that little divot that goes in that groove right there. Alright, now you compress the spring just like we took it out. We're going to put it the same way. We have to compress the spring. Now I found it's easier for me if I get one of these strong punches and put it right here and push back like that. You're going to push it all the way back like that. So I've got that spring completely pushed back. Now we're going to take this and set it in exactly how, and it has to be seated just right. And when you do, you'll hear that click, and look at that, it's in. Now we're going to put the pins back. Alright, next come the next two, and before we put those in, we're going to make sure, remember when I said make sure that one and that one are still intact, which they are. And we are going to slide this up in here and put our 2 pins in. There's 1, there's 2. Alright, that's all there is to it. And we get the stock back out, and we'll see if we can slip this booger in here. Alright, trying to do this without, alright, just like that. And once we have that in, you are ready to put that screw back in. And tighten it down. And when I say tighten it down, once you get to the end where you don't really bear down on it, but you want it nice and good and snug. You don't want to do it really, really tight, because number one, you don't want to strip it, and number two, like when you strip that in it, you're gonna have a hard time getting it out. So that's it, and this is completely put back together, and we're ready to rock and roll. Alright, so there you have it, all back together. Everything works, and hear the click, everything's good to go. That's how you disassemble it. So you saw it here, Poboy Special Channel.